designation spaces. You know.
It feels like nowadays, if you try to have any kind of, like, I guess, ideological alignment in your website, especially in the games community, that's like instant scorn from one side to the other. Like, no matter what you do. Like, if you feel like so strongly about a subject, you absolutely have to get somebody who feels the exact opposite way that you do, because everyone has to absolutely hear both sides at all times. And there's always going to be this huge conflict between, like, the people who think this and the people who think that. And these sites, like, a lot of times they don't even realize they do it, because a lot of times they're just trying to get more page views.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, I'm a really big, proponent of comparative study with video games and video game culture, because we tend to be kind of navel-gazing, and so this problem you describe of the false middle, or like this false objectivity of like balance on both sides, is a problem that has been dogging news media for like decades. So, and it's a problem that's been sort of translated into like new media, and I think like Zolani and I have talked about Polygon in particular as having these sort of ambiguous, like sort of guilt assuaging middle of the road leftist politics.
Yep.
That really they don't really serve to communicate fresh or interesting or insightful ideas so much as they're about making people feel I guess comforted and of getting views on the page.
So Lana's mentioned a lot this idea of feminism, Polygon's feminism, as one is to sort of assuaging a certain kind of liberal guilt. I've also talked about this idea of Polygon's feminism as one that can't actually critique structure. It moves into a very, very light cultural critique of, this can be better over here, this can be a little better here, but it can't actually critique structure. It can't critique capitalism, right? It can't do this because it's position. So it can't. It can't make that important step, right? So it becomes this weird sort of incomplete mesh of things, and that's how I sort of see it. So I don't know if I see Polygon as like it itself as a whole thing as like something wrong with it as a whole, as much as I understand Polygon as an example of a lot of weird ideological mishmash that isn't itself problematic, and just kind of a part of just kind of sort of web internet writing in general. There are good people on there and there's good stuff on there, but still, right? Like
it's more. It's not about the individuals.
I just feel the need to make that disclaimer all the time.
Yeah.
You know? Like I always feel the need to have to make
it's not all. It's not all the men. It's not all the writers. It's not all the whoever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
ridiculous.
Okay, so on that note, I'm actually gonna go watch Star Trek.
Oh, that's cool.
So.
Okay.
Okay, but this was really fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, sure. Bye, Lana. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
You're leaving right when I'm about to make progress, though.
What's going on? You need to keep us up to speed on Dragon Quest.
I gotta know.
I'm just letting you guys talk, okay? Dude, we want to talk about, like, the role of privileged people in discussions like this. I gotta let you fucking talk.
Are you kidding me? We can totally do this tomorrow. It's Dragon Quest time.
Dragon Quest. Alright, so...
well, here's the thing. I found the Balls of Light, which, believe it or fucking... Yeah, Balls of Light. Yeah. Which, actually, this is...
That's supposed to be funny?
No.
Anyways,
they're actually called the Stones of Sunshine in this fan translation, which I understand. I'm supposed to have both of them. I have the Stones of Sunshine, which I got them both at the same time. And I got the Rain Staff, and according to the wiki, if I have both of them, I can take them to the old guy here, and he'll combine them and turn them into the Rainbow Drop, so I can make a bridge to the final castle. Which, by the way, yeah, we're about to go to the final castle if I can figure this shit out. Except this guy refuses to do it. Like, yeah, I talked to him, and then he kicks me the fuck out. Like...
You must be missing the secret item.
I must be missing something.
What do you need?
I have the Rain Cloud Staff and the Stones of Sunlight. Like, what the fuck else? Like, I'm looking at the fucking Dragon Quest wiki right now. It's saying, the Rainbow Drop is an item in Dragon Quest and Dragon Quest III. It is used to create a bridge between the southeastern and south-central continents in Alefgard. It is required in order to reach Charlotte Castle in both games due to text restrictions, blah, blah, blah. Acquiring. In order to acquire the Rainbow Drop in both games, the player must bring the Staff of Rain and the Stones of Sunlight to the Southern Shrine. The Old Man in the Shrine will combine the items and give the player the Rainbow Drop. I'm gonna look up BG maps again just to make sure I'm in the right fucking old man place. You know, like...
You're on the wrong old man.
Yeah, you're actually in the
I'm sure...
old man place. You have to go to the second.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is another one that's exactly the same, and that you just haven't found it yet.
The worst part is you might be right!
You know? Like, I'm pretty sure that there's just, like, there's something completely just kind of unfair and very sinister going on here.
As usual.
It's because it's Dragon Quest.
Oh, I have to find Erdrick's token? What the fuck? God.
Dragon Quest.
There you go, Dragon Quest.
And you know what? I'm looking at the map and I know where it is, and it's literally I have to walk around like the holy shrine that I'm at right now is at the southeastern part of the world, and the Erdrick's token is like one of the southernmost points of the map. And to get there, I'm gonna have to walk around the entire world map to get there. God
Well,
damn.
you want to start hoofing it now?
Well, that's what I'm gonna do. God damn it, we
If
came here to
I
play
would
Dragon
also
Quest
assign a
all the
speed
way
button.
through, start to finish. I'm gonna fucking do it.
And if I were you, I would assign a speed button to your controller ASAP.
I would also recommend.
And just hold that button.
No,
for like
I'm
the next 5
gonna do
minutes.
it. No, I have one, and I've just been deciding not to abuse it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Cast return, and I think this should take me at least back to Tantigu Castle. Okay, that works. All right, so I'm already halfway across the world because of a spell I used.
Also, can I
What?
say something very quickly? That I unlocked the alternative menu skin for F-Zero X just now. I just wanted to put that- yeah. I just realized that's really cool. I just wanted to
Lots
put
of
that out
things
there.
happening tonight.
Yeah, this is some important stuff going on.
You
here.
know what would be hot as shit? First of all, if we could find out a way to get NetPlay on ZSNES to work, because they do have a NetPlay client, and we could do like multiplayer original F-Zero, even though it would look terrible, like, you know.
Oh,
But it
geez,
would be
yeah.
totally awesome.
Oh, it'd be
F-Zero-
fan fucking
Actually,
tastic.
I had a crew a couple of years ago that I would play Bomberman with on ZSNES.
Nice. And
We would play Super Bomberman 5 specifically.
nice. And TJ, Alien Soldier, is it a port of an arcade game or is it just a Genesis game?
It's a Genesis game.
Ah, damn, because it seems like the kind of game that would be an arcade game, and I'll bet I'll bet you we
Oh,
could
it
fucking
would be
do it.
such a good arcade game.
I was about to say, I'll bet you we could fucking do it on Supercade and stream that shit. Like, you know,
If
like,
only.
what?
I said if only, but there is Gens Plus and Nebula and Kega Fusion and stuff like that. Like, there's plenty of really good Genesis emulators, so that's not even a big thing.
Oh no, well, I mean like ones that would like it does like that's a game where like a second player can plug in a controller like Contra, right?
Oh, I wish. That's Gunstar Heroes.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Alien Soldier is one player, because if that game was 2 player, it would be, like, too much.
See, I would use this. I would use.
Gunstar Heroes, though, that's a good-ass co-op game, for sure.
I would the thing is like the battle rate in this game is really high, so it's just like I feel like I'm just tacking more time onto the clock if I just, you know, I'm thinking like a speedrunner, but you know, like
That's good, because that means you'll get it done.
hey,
You gotta think like a thinking like a speedrunner is always a good thing to do.
yeah,
So
I mean
it's
like
hard to think
Thinking like
it's
a
really
speedrunner is
unfortunate.
exactly why Joy Lancer exists.
I think
so-
this is something I kind of been meaning to bring up, and this is literally just totally culturalist video games criticism, but like I think something that's been a little bit tragic about how playing games has affected how I play games, or like how being a game critic has affected how I play games, is that a lot of times I just feel the need to play them as quickly as possible so that I can like start working on whatever I want to work on about them.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting question.
And like
You should
like there are like in BioShock Infinite, I just wanted to finish that fucking game, and I never ended up writing anything.
I can't finish that game. I can't finish BioShock.
Don't.
BioShock Infinite is really boring, man. It's so boring.
Yeah, I mean like that's
and it's so uninteresting. It's just like wow.
It feels-
I was actually surprised. Like
it feels so asinine to say sometimes, but it's just like I know we all want to talk about how incredibly racist the game is, but can we also talk about how boring it is? Like, you know,
I'd like to talk about how boring it is too, because it is actually just really boring. Like,
it's so bad. It's the worst designed shooter I've ever played.
it's surprisingly badly put together.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and the thing about it is, like, and like, actually, you know what? This is a great time to talk about this.
I'm so freaking, like, I know I shouldn't be angry at, like, whatever the fuck, like, an IGN.com site says, but man, like, if anything shows, like, how just warped a lot of people who like to consider themselves games critics are, that people would give those games 10s, it's just, like, it's completely beyond me. Like, I know, like, normally I don't even care about that kind of stuff, but with Bioshock Infinite, it actually really irks me.
God damn it, I died.
It shows a complete just inability just to look at something and understand its content.
You know what really pisses me off?
Like, so freaking flawed.
What? You know what really pisses me off about that shit? Like, it's not even like Bioshock Infinite, but I'm gonna bring this up again. Metal Gear Rising getting a bunch of mixed reviews on, like, various websites, whereas DMC gets, like, 9s and, like, 10s on a bunch of places.
And you know what?
And like, the thing is that those games came out, like, in between, like, a month of each other, so, like, at the same time, everybody's comparing DMC and Metal Gear Rising, and first of all, that's just wrong in the first place. Second of all, those are completely different games with totally different play styles. Like, you can't play DMC, you can't play Devil May Cry the original, you can't play Ninja Gaiden the same way that you play Metal Gear Rising. Those are all different games.
Why are people comparing those two things? And why is it that one
because they have swords and camera angles.
The thing about the DMC Metal Gear Rising comparison that's interesting is that both of those games are games that are part of big franchises, well, big enough at least, but have been developed by other parties. Metal Gear Rising was developed by Platinum Games, and DMC Devil May Cry was developed by Ninja Theory.
I'm wondering.
So they're both games that are based off of a certain franchise, but different enough to be considered their own thing. But also they're both action games. Devil May Cry was always very, very Japanese influenced. Metal Gear Rising is super Japanese influenced, especially compared to, like, the originals. Not saying that the original Metal Gear games were, Americanized, because they certainly fucking weren't. I mean, come the fuck on, Metal Gear Solid 4 in general. But I mean, like, all things considered, it's like, and it's like, plus the games came out at similar times. They had similar, they're both developed by other companies. They're both action games. They both have Japanese roots. But the thing about DMC Devil May Cry is that it's so much, like, simpler and more basic, and, like, it does a lot of things, like, really well. It does a lot of things really well. But it does a lot of things really fucking horribly that a lot of people just completely ignored for the sake of, like, oh, well, if I review it like a Devil May Cry game, then that's going to get the people mad that were looking forward to this game that don't play Devil May Cry or don't really care. Whereas if you review it like it's not a Devil May Cry game, you're going to piss off the Devil May Cry fans because they want to know why they should give a shit about this new game. And honestly, they shouldn't give a fuck about the new Devil May Cry at all. Especially if you care about, like, the originals at all, you shouldn't give a shit. Because, like, there's just so many things that they did wrong that could have been like really small problems, but they keep repeating themselves in every single situation to the point that the game becomes a slog to play. It becomes a chore, like work. Like, you're not having fun anymore. Now you're just kind of playing.
It gets very laborious at the end. I'm wondering whether this goes back to Austin's thesis of this idea of Japanese games not getting that much respect.
Yes, they do.
And I'm wondering, do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, maybe this is something here now, where Metal Gear Rising and DMC, which, I mean, are similar in this understanding that they kind of present the same pitch to us, right? Of this sort of very bizarre subversion of a traditionally well-understood franchise.
Stylish action.
Yeah, and this is what the sort of auditions are. So they present the same pitch to us, yet they get these huge, very different scores. Devil May Cry gets, very consistent, very highly well received, yet Metal Gear Rising is actually very mixed and odd. But from people telling me Metal Gear Rising is actually very good. So I'm wondering if this goes back to Austin's thesis again of DMC being the narrative of, well, the Western game developer can do it better, whereas Metal Gear Rising is still done by Platinum
and they
Games
can do it better.
So I don't know. So maybe this goes back to Austin's thesis again of Japanese games. not
Ninja
getting
Theory is actually a
you know?
UK company, but yeah.
Yeah,
like,
but they're Western companies.
It's
Yeah,
still the same idea.
And
like,
they
the
can
UK
do
companies
it
still get
better.
kinda grouped in with the